the Middle East. So there's Kurdistan. Kurdistan, Middle East nation once broke off from Iran spread to Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, yada yada yada. Now it's a huge nation fighting ISIS. Everybody's happy. The UN says that maybe he will give independence if he continues. And yeah, that's basically Kurdistan. Yeah. So now let's see Palestine. Oh, this one is when everything goes controversial. Controversial. Israel. Hello guys. Hi. Welcome to our channel. In today's episode, we're doing a geography video about the countries that don't have independence. So there's 193 nations in the UN. But there's an exception. Many other nations want independence from those nations in the UN. So today we're going to be learning about that. So this video will be broken up into segments, only two, part 1 and part 2. So watch out for both of them. Let's start with the nations that want independence in Africa. So let's do it. So here's East Libya, a part of Libya that wants independence near Egypt and has a completely different flag from Libya, and it's in the north of Africa, touching the Mediterranean Sea. Now there's Somaliland. Somaliland is a part of Somalia and previously had independence, but then the UK forced it to join Somalia. So let's say for 3 days, it was its own thing. And now it's part of Somalia, but now it's fighting as strong as it wants to be independent. So we give good luck to Somaliland. So now there's Abazonia. Abazonia is part of Cameroon. It is a British-speaking part of Cameroon, English-speaking, and it really wants independence from the other parts of Cameroon that speaks French. So now let's continue. So next there's Nigeria. Biafra is like a larger extended part of Imo. And Nigeria and Biafra have had many wars and they are still having some mini wars still happening. Biafra and Nigeria hate each other. Like since Biafra got started corresponding with history, Nigeria started hating it a lot more. Time for the next nation, Azawad. Azawad was separated from Mali and became its own thing for 1 full year, 2012. By that time, South Sudan had full independence too, so you can understand more. And Azawad was its own thing for 1 year before it joined Mali in 2013. So Azawad is just started saying, I want to be independent, then got independence, and then said that he wanted to join back Mali. So now Western Sahara. Western Sahara is a disputed part of Morocco. I don't want to offend Western Sahara. This is not an offense to Western Sahara. Neither to Moroccans. Neither to Moroccans, nor Spanish or Mauritanians. This is just talking about for this video. So Western Sahara is a strip of land near Mauritania, Morocco and the Atlantic Ocean. It has a capital. That's the most surprising part. Its name is Laayoune. But Laayoune have many Moroccan civilians. So they might go doo-doo on Laayoune, and then Western Sahara will need a new capital. So they are prepared for that. Another capital near more peaceful Mauritania. Okay. So that is a part of Senegal that wants independence that is near Guinea-Bissau and Guinea, fought a war but lost the war, and now it's regained with Senegal. It's called Casamance. So now let's go to the next part. Zanzibar. Zanzibar is a beautiful island.
Some people still think that Zanzibar is an independent
country.
And some people think it's part of Tanzania.
And Britain made a huge bomb that destroyed most of the olden architects of Zanzibar. And then their sultanate, they had a sultanate, went all the way to Tanzania, and now no one knows about him.
So, and no one knows what happened to him after that. So Tanzania just said, since there's no king here, let me just take it and nobody will care. But people from Zanzibar weren't happy with that, and now they want independence again.
Okay. Referendum for independence.
Okay, now
Cabinda. Cabinda is an enclave of Angola in the DRC. A third Congo, to be more precise, to make it more easier for you guys. So, Cabinda wanted independence at one particular part of time. But now it has stopped now the referendum have went whoosh down. And now there's only a small amount of the population that wants independence. Now Katanga. Katanga is DRC's problem. Katanga is a part in the southern DRC that borders Zambia and also Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and Kenya. So Katanga wants independence, and it lost the first war for its independence, but maybe it's gonna take up another war for its independence to become a real nation in the UN.
Okay.
So that is Africa's nations that need independence. Let's go to North America. So North America has a small amount of them. So here's Cascadia, the states of Oregon, Washington, and the region of British Columbia and Canada, with small parts of Idaho and California, makes Cascadia. Cascadia is a Canadian-American problem that many people have been thinking of to create as a nation for many, many years. The actual first idea was British Columbia.
Okay, now we go to Quebec. Everybody knows what Quebec is trying to do, to break off from Canada, to make the French language known, and so that it won't fade away and the English language take over it. So
Canada was colonized by Britain. That's easy to understand. Quebec was colonized by France. There's a difference.
So these two enemies being in one place try and predominate their languages on the two countries.
So all the other parts of Canada were predominated by the English language, and Quebec was predominated by the French language.
And when the UK took over Quebec, they did not forget that they were French.
And they kept some French territory, named millions of French cities in the French language, like Quebec, the capital,
with an accent and
Montreal, that speaks even more French than Paris.
Okay, now let's continue with Quebec. So Quebec tried the referendum, if you haven't watched news,
and Canada did not do anything. It was the same Quebecians that speak English that did not agree with this. Canada was not the problem. It was their own selves that were attacking their own selves in the vote.
So now, let's go
to California. So there have been Calexit. Calexit is the idea of California Brexit from America. You get the trick. So Calexit have been an idea since after 2 years after California joined the United States.
So Calexit is not a new idea. That's just to tell you.
It had been an old idea for very since. The first idea of Calexit was the Calexit from Mexico.
So now we go to Texas. Many people think that Texas should get independence from America. Texas. That one is the most popular, and everybody knows that Texas will soon get independence. So this one is not really that simple, because last time when Texas got independence, it got independence from Mexico, and then the USA annexed it. So we can say that the USA doesn't actually own Texas, it's actually Mexico.
And now Vermont. Vermont is a Canadian-American mush with New Hampshire and some other eastern coast states. That's what Americans call them. But they are more Canadian than American.
So that's to understand.
So now Vermont is like, if I'm not gonna be Canadian, then I'm gonna be my own thing. And now a new Brexit. Now, and also New Hampshire had the same plan for the same idea for the same reason. So Vermont and New Hampshire want independence from America. Now there's Hawaii. Hawaii is quite different from America, and that's the reason why. It has more bonds with Spain and Mexico and Papua New Guinea and
Cuba?
It has even the same language as the Bahamas and Madagascar.
Can you believe that? So it's more related to those Asian and African islands than it is to the American continent. So that's funny. That's another reason why it's independence. Now we go to South America, we do only one. So this one is a lucky one.
It's Southern Brazil. It fought a war for independence as its own government. But it's not part of the UN, because UN said no conflict here. Conflict zone over there. This place is not conflict zone. So South Brazil have joined Brazil by force by the UN.
Okay, now we go to Europe. You can see that Europe is just a whole bunch of mess of these countries.
Look at this bunch.
And
It just looks like witchcraft. All of this just appeared on the European continent.
And these are only some that want independence. There's some that haven't really shown that they want independence. There's so many.
There's so many more. So let's see the ones that are here. Scotland. Scotland is among the
countries that people would think of when they think of countries that want independence.
And it's a Celtic nation. Celtic speak the Celtic language.
And if you don't know, Celtic was a tribe in England long time ago, but then the English killed all of them.
And then the English population turned English. The Celtic spread to France and Ireland and some other places, and boom, the 8 Celtic nations appeared.
Okay, so this one, they actually held the referendum, but the Parliament said no.
The entire place said no way. And Scotland have gave up on it. But maybe it's gonna be a new referendum. Maybe not even a referendum. Maybe a war.
So, Scotland, the reason why Scotland wants to break away from the UK is because it has no say in Parliament, and it's being controlled by the Queen of England, but it has its own king.
Yeah, it has its own puppet king, played as a puppet by the Queen of England.
So that is why he wants independence.
So now let's go to the next Celtic nation. Wales.
Brittany and Wales.
Brittany are some very, very related nations. Brittany is French. It has two languages. Celtic. It has three languages. Celtic, Brittonian, and French.
So you can see that they have already made their own country. And also their own language.
They have their own flag, language, and president. But still considered France.
Okay.
Why? Then there's Oxford. Now back to Wales. So Wales is another Celtic nation like Scotland and Ireland and many others. Wales wants independence, but not as much as it wanted it before time. So when Scotland had made the referendum, Wales was making a mini referendum. But the referendum failed like Scotland's one. Now Wales is making mini wars with England to go and get independence, of course. Then there's Cornwall, a forgotten part of England. And now it has become Celtic due to that it's forgotten.
If you don't know the history of England, we advise you to watch Horrible Histories because it teaches you many things. But let us do an overview so you understand how this mess happened. So first, we know that England was divided into many parts. There was United Ireland,
and there was England, Wales, and Scotland. Then the Roman Empire was like, Jibila Jabala, let me make all of this nonsense. He came to there and then said, okay, Celtic peoples, I give you the Germanic language. We do not want the Germanic language. The English were like, we just take it, okay? Okay, you are part of my nation. Wales is like, I'll take some. Okay, take it. Then Cornwall is like, I don't care. I will not take it. And now it's forgotten.
And now let's fast forward into time. And then we go to the English Civil War, where Parliament fights against
Charles II, the King of England.
So, as you know that the UK still has Parliament, but they were fighting for either one of them to die, the idea forgotten, or either both of them live coexistently. So that one didn't actually wasn't gonna happen.
The Parliament won over the royals, and then England turned into something else.
Okay.
Started getting ruled by Parliament. Then
the guy
died. The guy that fought for the Parliament died. He had a son, but the son got executed before he could do anything. And then there was a new king. Hooray!
So who is that guy? Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell. If I'm not pronouncing this well, I'm sorry.
Because we did not use Google. We're sorry if we're pronouncing it wrong. So Oliver Cromwell was evil and did not allow these. Playing Christmas, church, and many other stuff.
They only devoted themselves to Christ. And no fun at all.
No fun.
No Christmas, no birthdays.
Yeah.
Everything that, no fun, no sports, nothing like that. Everything was just pray.
And now, and then Cornwall was like, I like this guy. And then took him as their own guy for some time. Until he died. And then the Cornwall said they were going to join how the Scottish start acting. And boom, that's how Cornwall is here together.
It was named out of Oliver Cromwell. Okay, now let's continue. So let's go to Spain where you can see all this nonsense. What happened here?
Jibbly jabbla jabla blah.
So everybody knows that Catalonia is one that nobody should ever forget, because Catalonia has made its mark on the Spanish history and on the European history.
Now it wants independence. Straight up war is gonna happen if Catalonia doesn't get independence. Straight up war.
So Catalonia wants independence because it has not been treated the way as all of the other Spanish regions are treated.
Now there's another one, the Basque Country. It's two Spanish regions joined together. Valle and another region that I don't know if I'm pronouncing well, so I'm not gonna pronounce it because I think I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. And then they push Basque Country. The Basque Country near borders France, and Spain isn't happy about losing Catalonia. Now it's losing another rich land.
Okay.
Because there's 3 rich parts of Spain, all the rest are like poor.
And depend on the rest.
And their name is Madrid, Catalonia, and the Basque Country. So those two gone, only one more place to rely on. When that one fades away, Spain is dead.
Okay. So
Now back to France. Occidente. So Occidentie or Occidente is a French region in the south that wants independence, small referendum, and is forgotten like Cornwall. Forgotten.
So it's almost the same thing as what happened in Cornwall.
Now there's another, and here's a bonus Spanish region that wants independence. Galicia. Galicia borders Portugal, wants independence. And there's also Lago, and there's Andalusia, and those are the ones that want independence from Spain. So Spain is united so well.
So let's go to this middle one that seems like where did it come from?
So that's Moravia. Moravia, the German state, the most richest German state, the second most largest after Hesse.
I don't know if we are pronouncing Moravia right. Bavaria very well.
If you Germans are angry about the pronunciation,
please tell us how to pronounce it in the comment section below. And if you French are still angry about how we pronounce Brittany
or Occidentia, so if you are angry about the pronunciation,
please tell us how to pronounce it
in the comment section. Use Spanish too. Please tell us if you did not allow how we liked how we mentioned the ones.
Okay,
so back to topic. So after Bavaria, then there's Venice. There's Venice,
the richest part of Italy.
Capital Veneto. It goes really. It have been Italian for years,
and also had its own empire, which is called the Kingdom of Venice. Google it. It actually exists.
And it ended when they joined Italy by a vote, and now it will pay Italy 100 million euros, but Italy will only give back 200 euros for giving him that much by the parliament.
Now they are very angry that Rome is giving them such small money, but they give them such big cash, and now they want independence. The other Sicily that we all know that is the island near
Algeria and Italy, and millions of conflict has happened over this one because of Algeria and Italy, blah 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 blah. And now Sicily is here, wants independence, forgotten like all the other nations. And now, as it's forgotten, no one wants to talk about it, but people need to talk about it, and it wants independence.
Okay, let's go to the Balkans where every messed up place is.
Messes are found in the Balkans.
Then we see Kosovo. We see Kosovo, which is really, really, really confidential. We can say it's really a problem for us to be talking about it and saying if it's independent or not.
So Kosovo has a capital named Pristina. If you Serbians are angry about us talking about the capital and Kosovo's independence and whatever that you're angry about, if we're going to talk about Vojvodina or Spasska, Just say it in the comment section below. We're allowing you to be free.
Okay. So, if you feel like this offends you, yes, sorry. Okay, so let's go to, so after Kosovo gained its independence. It fought a war of independence and it celebrates its independence, if you don't know.
In 2006, it has independence, but not recognized.
Except for 22 countries in the UN. And of
that
course
include like Russia, Venezuela, Colombia, Cuba, and many others.
Yeah.
So now let's go to Vojolina. Vojolina haven't fought any war for independence yet. It haven't made a vote yet. Doesn't have a king yet. Doesn't have parliament yet. But has its own flag and its own language. Actually, it doesn't have its own language. It's Serbian. That's how it's economically and very by population Serbian.
Okay. So now let's go to this small country up here. What is that?
And it's called West Ingria, and it has more like how do I put this? Nordic flag, and it claims that St. Petersburg is its capital. Russia hates him due to that. Most of his history is put right in St. Petersburg.
So this can start really problem conflict. It's almost like the Israel problem, Palestine problem. That Palestine claims that West Jerusalem is its capital, but Israel has more things with Jerusalem, but it has its own capital that is recognized, but Jerusalem is also recognized as its capital. And now you're calling your capital West Jerusalem. That means you have separated Jerusalem. What are you doing?
Okay,
so that's what is almost happening here.
So now, speaking of Russia, West Russia. So you're gonna ask me, West Russia? That must be the west of Russia wanting independence, right? Wrong. It's the eastern part of Ukraine that wants independence.
Or New Russia. It calls itself New Russia or West Russia.
So New West Russia have gained its flag, parliament, but not yet a king. Russia, every part that came from Russia must have a king, except Crimea and Kaliningrad. So it doesn't have a king yet, and Ukrainians are forcing it to rejoin it. So that is for Europe. Now let's go to Asia, the slightly more problematic place.
And mostly when you go near to China, it's a whole mess.
Okay, so now let's start. Taiwan gained independence, but then everybody recognized him. But then China is like, here's some money, here's some money. Yes, do not say that Taiwan is independent, okay? And I'll give you the money. Okay. now only Gambia and 3 other nations, Cuba, Venezuela, and Russia, now believe its independence. Now the Xinjiang, also known
as Turkey in China,
and they named themselves East Turkestan.
I don't understand that one. Okay,
so it borders Tibet, another nation that wants independence, and his king is the Dalai Lama. But the Dalai Lama got exiled to somewhere else. I came back. Hooray! So Tibet can continue with its independent moves. So Xinjiang or the East Turkestan,
everybody wants to be part of the stans,
like Kurdistan.
We'll talk about that one.
We'll talk about that one later. And now that's another part of the mess of China. Now more about Tibet. Tibet is a more of Nepalian, Bhutanist, Indian kind of person. So he is very, very different from China economics. But China still doesn't want to let him free.
And then there's Inner Mongolia. Remember the conquest Mongolian Empire. Kill, and kill.
The Mongol Empire. Now Inner Mongolia remain. There's Outer Mongolia, that's today Mongolia, and there's Inner Mongolia, part of China. So Inner Mongolia now wants independence after a long time of thinking. Now there's Nanxi. Nanxi is a Chinese region that has an officially different language, a historical Chinese language, and they use it for the speaking for the nation. So Nanxi, that's the only name you can call it. Nanxi have been waiting for independence. When he saw everybody else is fighting for independence, he's like, I'm going up the stage and getting independence too. So next is Macau
and Hong Kong.
Macau and Hong Kong are southern regions of China. Administrative regions by the Chinese.
Special
administrative regions.
Very special according to the Chinese.
The British colonized Hong Kong
and the Russians.
And the Soviets, the Russians were the Soviet Union existed at that time, and they sent the Russians to go and help them to go and take Macau. So they took Macau, Britain took Hong Kong, and then they made some peace treaty with China. And for China becoming communist, the Soviet Union gave Macau. So then China and UK had some conflict. UK said, I don't want to waste all my gunpowder on you, so let me just give you Hong Kong, but make sure that you give him some sovereignty. China says, yeah, blah, 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 and now it doesn't give sovereignty.
So that was almost, he lied. So let's now understand this. So they made actually a treaty called the 100 Years Treaty, which just states that Hong Kong and Macau will be part of Russia and Britain
for one more year.
No, for 100 years, and then will be to return back to China. But when it was the time, China said, give me back my country, give me back those parts, and they were like, no, we thought that it was forever. No, give him back. It's called the 100 Years Treaty for not for nothing. Give me his back. And then Russia just gave it and then left. And then
UK started using its gunpowder bullets on China, and then just simply said, I am dying of gunpowder. Here is Hong Kong. Please now leave me alone. I have some more problematic stuff to do in Africa.
So now let's go to these parts of Asia.
The conquest of the Middle East. So there's Kurdistan. Kurdistan, Middle East nation once broke off from Iran spread to Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. Yada yada yada. Now it's huge nation fighting ISIS.
Everybody's happy. The UN says that maybe he will give independence if he continues. And
yeah, that's basically Kurdistan.
Yeah. So now
let's see Palestine.
Oh, this one is when everything goes controversial.
Controversial. Israelis. This is not Israelis and Hebrew. This is not to offend you and your nation. This is just to not offend anyone. This is for children.
Information.
This is information and education. So this is not offendance.
Okay. So you won't feel offended. Okay.
So Palestine is a part of Israel. Two exclaves of Palestine has a capital named Ramallah, and it has two capitals, Ramallah and East Jerusalem.
Oh, I went into
Israel's capital is Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, meaning that Israel's new capital is West Jerusalem. No East Jerusalem, Palestine.
Understand? Okay. Now
those are settled. Georgia's conquest and Georgia's failure of conquest.
Okay.
So Georgia and Azerbaijan has problems. So let's start with the Azerbaijani problem. Azerbaijan and Armenia hate each other due to Armenia is more of a Christian guy and Azerbaijan is more like a Muslim Arabian guy. So now they hate each other and have many wars, and then one day there was a baby that was formed on the street. Then Azerbaijan said, "This is my baby." Armenia said, "Let me paint him of my colors." Hey, why are you painting my baby? You did not give birth to the baby. You found it on the streets. Hey, it's my baby. No, I found the baby in the alley. Then I kept it here. And no, you did not. And now there's so much conflict, and now Nagorno-Karabakh, that's the name of the baby, now has conflict with both of them. It's like, I hate my two fathers. And now there's conflict between all three of them. Conflict. Now Georgia needs to shoot two people, South Ossetia and Abkhazia. Both of them have been in his dreams giving him nightmares for the last 20 years. And now these nations want independence. Okay, so those are nations that want independence in Georgia. Now let's talk about Soviet nations that want independence but were too late to join the Soviet Union. So Transnistria.
Yes, so see the story of Transnistria. It was like this. Sorry for pronouncing it wrong. Transnistria. Okay, this is the history. So first,
Moldova became a Soviet republic in 1992. Then Transnistria is like, I am the nation of Moldova. I am Moldova. Then when Moldova got independence from the Soviet Union, he changed his mind and said, I want to be part of the Soviet Union. Then Moldova said, the Soviet Union is already gone. Join me. I'm the last person alive.
And then he claims himself a Soviet republic,
but the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore.
And is Russia like, hey, I don't even have that flag anymore. It's an inspiration of the Soviet Union. But I don't even have that flag anymore.
And now Transnistria have even fought a war of independence and won the war, but it's still considered part of Moldova. So those are Europe and Asia. Now let's go to this southern part of Asia, where you find two parts of Indonesia. Actually 3 as a bonus. West Papua, also part of the New Papua Island, that includes Papua New Guinea and West Papua. Okay. And this wants independence from Indonesia and wants to join. When it gets independence 3 years after, it claims that it will join Papua New Guinea and start the New Guinean Empire. So that's what it claims that it's gonna do.
Okay.
Now time for Sumatra. So Sumatra is Indonesian island that wants independence, like Borneo. And Borneo is Malaysian entire Brunei Indonesian island. So if it got independence, then Brunei will no more correspond with the existence of the world. Okay. So now let's go to Oceania. Now you're gonna ask me, what is this? Bougainville. Bougainville, French region, got the Germans, the Netherlands, the British and the French came to there. The French took Bougainville. Now Bougainville wants independence, wants to become French like Quebec, but in Oceania, yada yada yada. And now Bougainville have even fought a war for independence like Moldova, like Transnistria, and still considered part of, Papua New Guinea. So now there's 2 more, Niue and the Cook Islands.
And also
Tasmania. So these 3 islands are from New Zealand and Australia. So Tasmania has a small referendum and one small part of independence. And then these two islands
are just territories
of New Zealand that want real full independence. So we have learned about the nation that needs sovereignty. And then here's a bonus. Kashmir. So Kashmir is the Indian Pakistani region that wants independence, like every other nation that is being mentioned in this video. And it wants its independence and be free from China, Pakistan, and India. So hopefully that this doesn't offend your nation, as we said many times in this video. Please subscribe and ring the notification bell to watch more of our videos. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye guys and have a happy day.